A lot of farming today, the industrial agriculture, is more prescriptive. You plant and then you spray, and you don't manage nature that way. You just kind of try to overpower nature. But in this kind of a grazing system, it's more artistic. I think that you have to watch carefully the grass growth and how the cows are performing and all these variables. I call it farming in the moment, doing what seems to be right. My name's Francis Thicke. I live in Fairfield, Iowa, on Radiance Dairy Farm. And we have an organic grass-based dairy farm. We milk about 80 cows on 450 acres. I get a lot of dairy farmers that come and say, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to differentiate your product? And what's going to be your niche? And they say, well, it's going to be really high quality. And I keep asking, well, no, what does that mean? And it has to be a special product. In our case, we have actually several features that I would call value added. One is that it's organic. One is that it's grass-based. One is the cows are Jerseys, and so the Jerseys have a richer milk. And Jerseys are really friendly cows, and people like them. Well, they do well. The Jersey is the smallest breed of dairy cows. You've probably seen the big black and white ones. They're the most common. They're almost twice as big as these. People who drink our skim milk, some will say they won't drink other skim milk because it's more like water compared to the Jersey milk. And so also we don't homogenize the milk, which means the cream comes to the top. So in this case, there's something we don't do that adds value to it. Well, Fairfield is a unique community, and I speak at conferences often, tell about our on-farm processing and local marketing, and I point out that it's for Iowa, it's quite unique in that about 40 years ago, the Transcendental Meditation Organization bought a university here, and it attracted people from all over the country to be near that university. Now, over time, things have gotten more eclectic in the community, but so there's a lot of interest in alternative energy and organic farming and things like that, alternative building systems. But there's a lot of interest in organic food. It seems unusual that in a town of 10,000 that we can sell all the milk from 80 cows. Bottled milk, whole milk, 2% skim milk, and cream. We make some yogurt and a few kinds of cheeses. Paneer is very unusual. Most people don't know what that is. It's a hard curd cheese, very quick coagulated, and it's not like cultured, so it doesn't have a lot of flavor, but it absorbs the flavors of the spices in cooking, and it doesn't melt, so it makes a good cooking cheese. I'm not sure how artisanal that is. We basically try to meet the needs of our community, and I think it's the Jerseys that are the artisanal faction here that produce a good product, and people really like it. It's really absurd how we've done this in the industrial model. It's the nature of cows to move about and the nature of grass to stand still. But we made the cows stand in one place and made the grass move to the cows. It's just starting to come out of the ground. And so we've turned it all upside down. Well, I keep coming back to the idea of that we have to farm based upon the model of ecology that created our soils. And so we have to do that. And if we can't do that, then our farming is not going to be sustainable. Well, if you look, most of the farm is in grass and perennials, and so we don't have to keep planting all the time. And of course, that helps protect the soil from erosion and so on. But also, we have it split up into a number of small pastures, about 60 small pastures of about 2 acres each. And so after each milking during the summer, the cows get fresh grass. Twice a day they come out, come home from milking, and then when they go back to the pasture, we give them a new pasture. And that way they rotate around, and by the time they rotate around the pastures, the first one is regrown again. And that helps us, it helps not only have good quality grass for the cows, but it also helps the soil, because then the plant grows tall, it grows a deeper root system and puts more root mass into the ground. What we do is every time we feed them hay, we put it in a new spot so that they spread their manure all over. So by spring, the whole thing is fertilized. And then this field here will replant again, and it will build up the fertility. And so next year we'll winter the cows in a different place, and we'll do the same kind of process. The concrete water tank there never freezes all winter long. And what happens is that it gets the water from gravity fed from the pond. There's always a constant trickle of water, which keeps it from freezing all winter long. So on the roof of the processing plant, we have some solar panels that make hot water. And then we just have installed recently this wind turbine over here. It'll produce about as much electricity annually as we use on the farm. The thing is that we aren't out to get rich, you know. It's not like we're trying to see how much money we can make, because you know, we're not going to get rich anyway farming. So, but that would be an unending quest, you know, to try to see how much money you can make. We'd rather just try to become efficient. And I like to try to make the farm into a sort of a model farm, where as far as ecologically sound and so on. And then also we're doing a lot of energy things on the farm. So I prefer that. We're on fine-tuning the farm and making it a model farm rather than trying to see how big I can get. I mean, if we were really good business people, we would probably try to push the prices as hard as we could everywhere and put more money in the bank or something, you know. But I don't see how that's going to, you know, make me any happier. So so we'd rather keep it as priced as low as we can so our community can afford it.